Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now apologies to the non-Yoruba speaking followers of this channel, but I am going to start off this video with the Yoruba adage and then I'm going to translate it to English. So the Yoruba adage is akin torí pé a fẹ́ jẹ nọ́mọ̀ ká máa pe màálù ní bọ̀dá. So akin torí pé a fẹ́ jẹ nọ́mọ̀ Kamape Malu ni brother. So that what that means is it means we cannot say because we want to eat meat, then we'll be calling a cow uncle. So it doesn't translate directly, but that's effectively what it means. We cannot say because we want to eat meat, then we have to be calling a cow, then we go around calling a cow uncle. So really, it is this adage that Fani-Kayode is speaking to in this piece. I bring you this. Fani-Kayode comes hard on lawmaker Gbajabiamila for sitting at the feet of a Fulani Islamic scholar, and then there's a photograph of Gbajabiamila sitting. He looks like he's kneeling down to me in front of a Fulani chap with the Fulani guy's handyman, this Man Friday looking on with a stern face. I'll put the picture up so you can see. Former Aviation Minister Fani-Kayode has slammed member of the House of Representatives Gbajabiamila for sitting at the feet of a Muslim cleric. Fani-Kayode wrote, Honorable Gbajabiamila, a Yoruba man and a three-term member of the Federal House of Representatives who wishes to be elected Speaker, sitting at the feet and clinging to the thighs of a Fulani Islamic scholar by the name Sheikh Duhari Bauchi. Has it really come to this? Do we have to sink to this level? Must we bow before them? Is it not better to die a free man than to live a slave? So these are the questions that Femi is asking. Some have argued that Femi did this because he is a Muslim and that he is merely displaying his deep respect for a northern Muslim cleric. I find this contention at best intellectually dishonest and at worst specious and disingenuous. It is also a pernicious lie that seeks to mask the bitter truth. The question is whether any leading Fulani politician would ever crawl before, kneel at the feet of, and grab the thighs of any Yoruba Muslim cleric or sheikh simply to win his support for any position. I doubt it very much, given the fact that Fulani Muslims do not even allow Yoruba clerics to lead prayers in mosques in the north. The Yoruba Muslims in the north are compelled to open their own Yoruba mosques where they can lead in prayer, but they cannot lead in any mosque that the Hausa Fulani attend. This is the case despite the fact that Islam came to Yoruba land through the Turkish traders a good 400 years before it arrived in the northern regions of what later became Nigeria through Usman Dan Fodio. Now, I never knew that Islam came to Yoruba land before it went to the north, so that I have to do my own research on just to firm up that knowledge. I have known Femi for over 40 years and I have always loved and respected him. I still do. And as far as I am concerned, politics can never come between us. But the Femi in this picture is not the Femi I knew, loved and grew up with in old Lagos. That Femi was one of the most brilliant minds of the new generation of young Nigerian political leaders that emerged in the late 90s and that went on to do great things and achieve so much for their people and the country. Nothing could intimidate him and no one could buy him, and neither would he ever beg or crawl before anyone or grab their thighs and kneel in desperation. Sadly, things appear to have changed. May God deliver us, and he adds an exclamation mark to that. So sadly, things have changed. May God deliver us. I still believe that he would make a great Speaker of the House of Reps, and he deserves the position. I do not, however, believe that he ought or need to sell his soul or conscience for it. The Femi that I know is just too big and too good for that. Let us remember the celebrated words of the late leader of the Yorubas, Chief Obafemi Awolowo. He said, "Kàkà ká dọ̀bálẹ̀ fún Gàmbàrí, ká kúkú rọ́júkú," meaning we, the Yorubas, would rather die than bow down to the Fulanis. Those were the words of a courageous man and an insightful leader. How I wish we had more such leaders in Nigeria today. So that is what Fani-Kayode had to say about this really rather disturbing image of a prominent Yoruba politician, Femi Gbajabiamila, kneeling down and kowtowing to a Fulani man because he wants to be the Speaker of the House of Representatives. So we now see him effectively in the Idobale position in front of some random Malami fella, and thereby bringing the Yoruba name again once again into contention, because this is now something that they are trying to attach to our name, and this is now yet another example of why people have this impression of the Yorubas. So now this is what people have to say in response to Femi's public pronouncement on this thing that Femi Gbajabiamila. So Femi Fani-Kayode rather, because there are two Femis now. So Fani-Kayode's public pronouncement on what this Femi Gbajabiamila character is doing, going to Dobale to a Muslim Fulani cleric because he wants to be the speaker. So this is what Frequency Unlimited has to say. FFK, the mad dog, always spitting trash. This is about respecting a religious leader. Must everything be about tribe? So that one is going down that route, trying to accuse Femi Fani-Kayode of being tribal. So this is Omolachi, a name we come across fairly frequently whenever we do this. The Yorubas can call a cow uncle simply because they want to eat pomo. So that was the adage that I started off with, the Yoruba adage that I started off with. So she's referencing this, even though she has an Igbo sounding name. He should also shine their shoes with his tongue. Hausas has always seen the Yorubas as aslikas now. That's why they call them slaves. I'm not quite sure they call them slaves. They might well do, and I would not be surprised if they did. But according to Omolachi, they do. Let's just take a few more. This is what Baba has to say. Religious leader, that mofo be like Boko H and his minions. So that is what his report is, and this is what Julius Iwono has to say. He expects him to sit on his head. So he's not asking what position did you expect what position did you expect Femi Gbajabiamila to be in? Well, I can respond to that. We don't expect Femi Gbajabiamila to sit on the Malami cleric's head, because that would be a stupid thing, and that's effectively I wouldn't call it a stupid statement, but I'll respond to it. So we don't expect him to sit on his head, but we do expect him to sit on a chair and address him man to man, because Femi Gbajabiamila, to all intents and purposes, is a man, and the Malami guy that is visiting or addressing or is in company of is also a man. So he sits down as a man, the Malami guys sits down as a man, and they speak to each other as men. You don't kneel as a Yoruba man in the Dobale position at his feet. This is really what Femi Fani-Kayode is having issues with, and this is what he is bringing to the fore. And anybody can accuse him of playing the tribe thing, but really this is something that concerns a lot of people. So let's see if we can take a couple more comments before we leave it. Let's take one more. This is from a noni. Leave them, for they do not understand yet. So leave them, for they do not understand yet. But that seems in response to somebody. So let's see who she's responding to. So I'm assuming noni is a female. I think she's responding to a Mr. Decency. In as much as I don't totally agree with the pro-Biafra leader Nnamdi Kanu, but I want to use one line here. A time shall come when you shall crawl before them, before their feet. So it seems as though Nnamdi Kanu has been saying these sort of things, and this guy is now indicating that this is now what is coming, what is being brought to bear, and that none is coming then makes sense. Leave them, for they do not understand yet. So this is clearly the Igbo angle. Obviously, the Igbos are always quick to give the Yorubas a kicking whenever they think they're down. I think that's a fair comment. We all know that within the Nigerian space, an Igbo person will give a Yoruba person a kicking if they feel he is down. So that is real, the state of play. Femi Gbajabiamila in the Idobale position to some Malami fella because he wants to be speaker. This is effectively what Fani-Kayode is saying, and Fani-Kayode is now using that Yoruba Hausa dichotomy to highlight this point. But what says you? What do you think of Fani-Kayode's position, and what do you also think of Femi Gbajabiamila being in the Idobale effectively, or kneeling down, however his position is an Idobale position? So let's take that as an Idobale position. What do you now make of this Idobale position that Femi Gbajabiamila is adopting to a Malami fella because he wants to be Speaker of the House of Representatives? Because effectively that is what is playing out here, because that is what is in contention at the moment. He is contending to become the Speaker of the House of Reps, and is going around schmoozing, and his idea of schmoozing is being in an Idobale position to a Malami person, so he can send the signal to the Malamis that I am placid and I am loyal. And Fani-Kayode is saying that a Yoruba man should be upright and upstanding with his head tilted up and his chest out. So how do you position in this divide? Conversations in the comment section. But before you come join me to have that conversation in the comment section, click on the red subscribe button so it goes gray, the bell button so you are notified every time I drop a new video. Then once you've done both, come join me in the comment section. Let's see what we're making of this thing that Femi Gbajabiamila has done, and the position that Fani-Kayode is adopting. So we have a chat about all this in the comment section. So I'll leave you here, meet you in the comment section, but here I say peace.